to the Big Dudes in the Trenches podcast. If you're live with us on Twitch, you may have noticed a little bit of a change here. Bug's not with us. He'll be back as soon as possible. But I'm still Doug, and over here is still Tug. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Glad you haven't morphed into someone else in the meantime. That would have been creepy.
Look, man, I'm surprised this is not the conference that the SEC finds its beat-up opponents from. There's at least 2 directional schools in this conference on their own.
This is the conference where Air Force usually finds its beat-up opponents from. So
no, it's not.
Y'all play Nichols like all the time.
Nichols, we play. There's some guys out of the CAA. We play not a lot. But you're right. We don't find good opponents.
This year, don't you play Robert Morris this year?
Yes, we play Robert Morris this year.
It's
amazing.
It's gross. Despicable.
We need to show off for all of the parents.
I understand how it works, but it doesn't make it okay. So this is another one of our conference previews. If you can't tell by what hat I'm wearing, that means you're probably not watching the episode.
You should be watching on Twitch.
You should be watching on Twitch. That's where all the best stuff happens, live on Twitch. We're live Mondays and Thursdays. Come check us out. Twitch.tv/BigDudesInTheTrenches. Otherwise, you can watch us on YouTube or on BloodlineNetwork.com. And also on BloodlineNetwork.com, you can find a whole bunch of other podcasts. Talk about all sorts of different topics. It's very exciting. It's our new podcast network. Definitely recommend checking them out. So, if you're done watching BDT content,
I gotta ask, why does Houston Christian's logo look like a knockoff UConn logo?
Because fuck you. That's why.
All right, fair enough. Answer the question.
I don't think it's that much of a knockoff of UConn. They're both Huskies. I mean,
they're both the same colors with the same color scheme.
UConn doesn't have that much orange. UConn is a little bit of red, not orange.
It looks red to me.
You're colorblind, so it's fine.
You don't say that.
I did say that.
You don't say that.
Get wrecked, scrub. It is what it is. But if you're ready for it, I think let's go ahead and jump into this because this is the Southland Conference. If I didn't say that already, I don't think that I did. It is our second to last FCS conference preview. And the Southland Conference is home to another basically 2-team conference race. This is going to be Incarnate Word and Southeastern Louisiana
all the way. No question.
Yet again for the third straight season, even though this will be the third straight season of a different quarterback and a different head coach for Incarnate Word. That's insane.
They're really good.
They're really consistently good, even through head coach and quarterback turmoil. That is terrifying.
Yes.
Also, they have the youngest head coach in all of Division I in a guy that they promoted from within. So they're going to be just fine. Culture's going to continue. This is kind of insane. I believe, is his first name Clint? Yeah, Clint Killow. What a name. GJ Kinney to Clint Killow. That's wild. But also, you'll notice their quarterback makes our preseason Southland All-Conference team, which you're going to say, that's not unusual. Why am I pointing that out? Well, think about it this way. 2 years ago, they had a quarterback, Cam Ward, who I very much enjoyed.
Yep.
Transferred to Washington State, has been doing pretty well up there.
Yep.
So last year, they had to bring in another transfer. They brought in Lindsey Scott. Lindsey Scott goes on to win the Walter Payton Award as quarterback of the Incarnate Word Cardinals.
Coach got hired.
Coach moves on to Texas State. Lindsey Scott now plays for the Pittsburgh Maulers of the USFL. And so they've brought in another transfer quarterback. This time it's Zach Calzada, who you might recognize from that time when he was the starting quarterback of Texas A&M and they beat Alabama. So that's pretty good.
They know how to grow quarterbacks, and it's insane to think of.
I don't think that's fair. I think they know how to find quarterbacks is more accurate.
Yeah, but then they make them better from what they were when they came
That's true.
in.
That's true, which is pretty terrifying, not going to lie.
Yes.
Also, he has Brandon Porter to throw to, one of the best wide receivers in this conference. But more specifically, want to call out Carl Reynolds. Houston Christian doesn't have a whole lot going for him, but I love Carl Reynolds at wide receiver for Houston Christian.
At least they got something going for him.
And in that same vein, while we're at it, Lamar has one good thing going for him in Kalen Griffin.
Yep.
Also, that's a gross spelling of Kalen. Wish he
Yep.
had another A in there, but he doesn't. Is what it is.
Somewhere.
And that tight end for Nicholls State's going to get us in trouble, so I'm not going to go there. You may notice that the best part about Southeastern Louisiana is their line on both sides of the ball.
A good problem to have.
It's a great place to start. Crazy enough. So this is a fascinating stat. When you have a Walter Payton award-winning quarterback, which doesn't happen all the time. It's not like the Heisman or the FBS level where it goes to a quarterback every year anymore. Last year, for example, Walter Payton Award did not go to, or it did go to Lindsey Scott. The year before that, it did not go to a quarterback. Anyway, Cole Kelly won the Walter Payton Award in 2020. The year after he won the Walter Payton Award, Southeastern Louisiana finished 9-4 again. Like, they were very consistent there. That has never happened in the last 10 Walter Payton Award-winning quarterback teams. Like, Eric Barriere won it. Eastern Washington fell off a fucking cliff. Trey Lance won it. North Dakota State didn't make the playoffs the next year.
Yeah, they didn't fall off a cliff, though. They just didn't do North Dakota State standard.
They didn't make the playoffs. For North Dakota State, that's insane. Devlin Hodges won it in 2018. Sanford was never that good anyway with him, but Jeremiah Briscoe won it, and then Sam Houston fell off a cliff. John Robertson won it, and then Villanova fell off a cliff. Jimmy Garoppolo won it. Eastern Illinois has not recovered since. Like, this is...
I don't know why that was so funny.
Jimmy Garoppolo was the downfall of the Eastern Illinois Panthers.
Look, they went from Tony Romo, took a few years off. Jimmy G, they're due for another quarterback here.
They'll find somebody in the next 15 years, so at some point. But Southeastern Louisiana, my point is the only team who's really been consistently great throughout all that, even after Cole Kelly's gone now. I think Southeastern Louisiana will be just fine. And a large part of that is because of their offensive lines. John Allen is probably the best player in this conference as a guard. Like, that's wild to say. But John Allen's that freaking good. And Arlen Williams, too, on the defensive line is awesome.
Okay, I just noticed something.
Sure.
There's no chance that Jai Orgeron is related to Coach O, is there?
I believe not.
I can't find the link, but I mean, come on, how many Orgerons are there out there?
I mean, it's the South. Figure it out.
It's Louisiana.
That's all the more like.
I just want to hear him do an interview. That's all I want.
That's what I would need to know. We will know immediately in that moment.
Well, he is white, so it's possible. Anyway. We were just talking about how great the offensive line for Southeastern Louisiana is and how they're probably going to be great again, even though they don't have Cole Kelly, because of how great they are in the trenches. This is Bug joining us, by the way. If you didn't catch that on audio.
I feel lighter now. Lighter on my feet.
Wonderful. I'm glad that everyone knows that, too. That's beautiful.
He had to adjust weight and balance. It's all good.
Into a porcelain throne.
All right. Well, now that man, I'm
I
with
took
you.
a shit.
Thanks.
I really do think this is a two-team conference. I do not want to play against Southeastern Louisiana if I have to go through that offensive line, which I will have to go through that offensive line. I
Right.
don't want to play defense against UIW with their infinite
Bama
string
killer
of quarterback transfers that just never
Right.
end.
Right.
And then Texas A&M Commerce, their logo kind of looks like a coin, and I appreciate that.
I have
Well,
thought the
It
same
is the
thing.
School of Commerce.
I can appreciate it, okay?
Also, awesome information about Texas A&M Commerce. Their new head coach this year, Clint Dolezal, is a
What is
former
with the
quarterback.
What is with the Southland in hiring Clint?
I don't know, but Clint Dolezal, a former quarterback for Texas A&M Commerce before they were called Texas A&M Commerce. I don't remember what they were called before that, but it was some weird, stupid name. He went on to play quarterback for the Arena League and dominated in the Arena League, and then went on to coach in the Arena League for several years, then went on to coach Arena League football in China, won a Beijing Bowl, and is now coming back to coach for his alma mater, Texas A&M Commerce. This dude is a beast. One of the wildest, most fun careers I've ever heard of in my life. And he's back in the States now.
What?
So before being Texas A&M University at Commerce, they were East Texas State University,
That's right.
ETSU. Also blue and gold, which is we got to stop with these.
The
These
copy-
At least
Yeah,
everybody's not
yeah.
purple. Doesn't look like the inside of a little girl's bedroom.
Northwestern State is the only purple that we have on here.
Direction.
Also, McNeese State messes me up every time because they look like they're an offshoot of Wyoming, but they're in Louisiana. Go fuck yourselves, McNeese. It's not okay.
I got to appreciate.
Combination of Wyoming and the team up north, and I hate it so much.
I have to
That's the first time
appreciate.
you've hated something Wyoming. Are you Doug? Are you Tug now?
Maybe.
Screw Wyoming. Anyway, I got to appreciate that we have Southeastern Louisiana and Northwestern State, which are both in Louisiana on opposite corners. That rivalry right there has to be, even though Southeastern
But-
Louisiana probably wins it all the time.
We don't have South Central Louisiana State University yet. Go
We
Mud
do not.
Dogs.
Anyway,
Yeah, where's Bobby Boucher on my list? It's a random linebacker.
fuck off, guys. There is an actual really great linebacker in this conference, and I'm self-conscious to bring him up now.
Don't
Yeah, we
be-
already did. Bobby Boucher, South Central Louisiana State
Fuck
University.
you. Fuck
Bro.
you.
Bro, you make me read the links because you know I overthink it and I get annoyed with it. So I'm going to annoy you with your random linebacker love, which I also appreciate, by the way.
He made our FCS All-American team out of Houston Christian, Rodney Dansby. I've shouted out 2 players of Houston Christian now. They're the only 2 players worth anything on Houston Christian's roster. They're going to suck ass, but they have 2 phenomenal players at wide receiver and linebacker. So speaking of Houston Christian,
Better luck next
better luck
year.
next year. Unfortunately, you're probably going to win 2 or 3 games, but man, you're going to have some NFL prospects for some no good reason. It's crazy. Very probably like XFL, USFL prospects, if we were being honest with ourselves, but I have high hopes.
That's
I
fine.
have high hopes.
Nope.
Never again.
I
Stop
think
me.
it's fair at this point to throw Incarnate Word in the playoff contenders, even though
Yeah, I
they are
agree.
on their 3rd head coach and 3rd quarterback in 3 years.
But they've
kinda
already
earned the benefit of
proven
the
that
doubt.
it doesn't matter.
Right. Last year was better than the year before somehow, and maybe this year will be even better again. Who knows? If that happens, at some point we got to start calling bullshit and investigate UIW because that's crazy. But yeah, we'll see. I do think Lamar is quite possibly the
Not that
worst
bad.
team in the FCS. Like,
I agree.
they have a great running back, Kalen Griffin.
Hold on, we still haven't talked about Brown University yet. We can't put Lamar at the worst of the worst just yet.
Well, at the very least, they go at the very bottom of this conference.
That's
Let's
valid.
leave it there for right now. Or according to the graphic, if you're watching, AMA University. So it's very, very good.
It fits. It's fitting for them.
McNeese State up next. I guess not really McNeese State, even though that's technically their name. They just go by McNeese most of the time because they want to feel special about themselves. I guess it's fair to throw them a not that bad. Like,
Yeah.
I do think they have a couple pieces on defense that are.
I think they can beat Houston Christian and Emma.
Amon Neverst.
Yeah.
Neversit. That's going to be confusing unless you're watching the episode. So I recommend checking it out on Twitch or on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, you definitely want to see these graphics.
Yes.
Nichols, which is also Nichols State, but goes by Nichols because they also want to be special, is probably either at the back end of not that bad or the top of better luck next year. It depends on if you think there's any tier gap between them and Houston Christian. I don't know that there is, but I don't know that there's not.
I think that they've fallen
necessarily.
off a cliff, but I do think they've had enough recent success. So you got to give them a little bit of credit there. That
Yeah.
maybe they can pull something out here.
On the other side of the spectrum, I do think Nichols has one of the hardest schedules in all of the FCS this year. When you take out that non-conference schedule, I mean, even with playing Houston Christian and Lamar, their opponents are a combined 83 and 53 last year, which is
Brutal.
brutal. I think their record is going to look like better luck next year, but I think they might end up as a not that bad.
Ooh, they opened the season against Sacramento State. Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Thank God they're at home for that one.
Right? That's going to make such a difference.
And they play TCU, and then they go down the street to New Orleans to play Tulane. God damn. What an opening
Hell
three.
yeah.
Whew.
Love it. Love it.
And they got Stemo near the end of the season as well. And they close
Yeah.
out with Southeastern Louisiana. Holy shit. Whew.
Yeah. They're the only FCS team to play 2 FBS conference champions. So,
One of them a playoff team.
yeah. One of them played in the national championship last year.
National champion runner-up.
Really brutal. Really brutal. And the Cotton Bowl champion in Tulane. Good stuff. They beat the University of Southern California because get fucked Lincoln Riley.
God damn.
U.S. of C.
Right. U of SC.
University Southern of California.
Yes.
That's my preferred
No.
spelling.
No.
That's my preferred pronunciation.
Northwestern State. Moving right along here.
I feel like they belong to that bottom tier again. I'm not positive though.
Yeah, I could put them above Houston Christian in the better luck next year.
That's kind of where I think they land.
Feels reasonable. Yeah, they're bringing in an Idaho State quarterback from the transfer portal because their quarterback situation was bad enough they had to bring in somebody from Idaho State.
This conference is about to be wild.
Yes.
Southeastern Louisiana.
Yep. Perfect right there.
I think that's fair. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, not going to lie.
I don't think it matters.
So last year was kind of crazy. It was the first time I've ever really seen a 2 quarterback system work that well. They're probably going to have a 2 quarterback system again.
Oh, God, I hate that.
Eli Sawyer, who
But they
is
make
coming
it
back.
work somehow.
I know. It's crazy. Eli Sawyer and Zachary Clement is coming in. Transfer from Northwestern State. Northwestern State was looking like they might have a quarterback for this year, and then they lost their guy to a conference rival and had to bring in somebody from Idaho State. That's so brutal.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's Southeastern Louisiana and Sacramento State are the only two teams I've ever seen make that work. But hey, they did it somehow, so it's cool. And then Texas A&M Commerce is last on our list here. They are in their second year coming up from Division II. They're ineligible for anything other than, getting beat up by other teams, because that's probably what will happen. They're eligible to be destroyed on the football field. Very cool.
Love it.
They do have one really great defensive back in Max Epps, and Clint Dolezal is a very fun story, but I don't think they're going to win too many games.
Probably not.
At the same time, I think it's
Which is
very reasonable.
unfortunate.
It could be better than Houston Christian and Northwestern State. Like, it's a debate of how bad do you really think Northwestern State and Houston Christian are going to be? Like, I've already written off Lamar as being bottom of everybody, but do we put Texas A&M Commerce in between Northwestern State and Houston Christian somewhere, or do we throw them behind Nicholls State even, and not that bad?
I'd put them behind probably Northwestern State, to be honest with you. I'm a little disappointed we're going to have two blank tiers here, but I also think this is valid. Like,
it's kind of been
I
how
think
this
that's
conference has
just
gone the
how-
last 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's just how split up the conference is.
I can see that being fair. Behind Northwestern State, even. It feels really harsh, but also feels kind of true. So
that's really the thing. Is it?
am what it am, and it do what it do.
And it do what it do.
Oh, man. But that is going to do it for the Southland Conference preview. Another very exciting conference to be talking about here. Another 2-team conference. If you notice the theme from this episode, very exciting stuff at the top of all these conferences. And then nothing much else happening around these leagues.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I would expect the same for the Ivy League.
Or even worse. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck the Ivy League, because they don't even try to go to the playoffs, because school is apparently more important.
Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. I understand it, but I hate it.
Okay. So for the Southland Conference, that does it for our preview there. Thank you for tuning in, folks.
Sorry, we need to let the hatred flow just a little early.
We have a whole episode on the Ivy League coming out very shortly. If you're watching us live on Twitch, that'll be in like a couple of seconds, actually. If you're watching us somewhere else, first of all, thank you for doing that. And second of all, stay tuned, because we have one more conference to preview in our conference preview series. We've done all of Division I at that point. So one final conference to go. You can find us on our own YouTube channel. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other podcast platforms. They still exist probably somewhere. I don't use them, but somebody might. Or you can find us on bloodlinenetwork.com, because that is our new podcast network. And you might find some other like-minded sports podcasts on there you might enjoy. Some different topics. They do a lot of wrestling over there, a lot of entertainment stuff. Very fun, very enjoyable. Nice guys. Check them out. But unless you guys have anything to add here, that does it for the Southland Conference preview.
It's going to be a fun season. I'm ready.
We only got one left, so I guess we'll see y'all shortly, or later today, whenever this actually gets released online for later viewing.
At some point. Or if
Just
you're live on Twitch, in like a couple seconds.
Bye.